Good morning, good afternoon, good evening all over the world. Dobson 777A here. Hey everyone, we've had quite a few volatile days here, so I thought I should go ahead and throw a report out. This is going to be really late. What is today? Tuesday? Hold on a second. Jeez Louise. You gotta remember, I'm retired and all days are kind of the same, but I'm recording this pretty late Wednesday night on September 30th. I'm gonna label it for the 1st because it's probably not gonna get edited and out until after midnight, but this is running about 9:35 p.m. when I'm starting the recording here. So gold today was down 0.64%, silver was down 4%, pretty good smackdown. Platinum was up 0.57 again. Now I went ahead and let's go up here. This is what the chart looked like for gold and silver, just kind of like noisy, but you can see silver settled down around 23.4 and gold settled in about 1889, just barely. Of course, this is after hours too. It's up now, changing around. But I wanted to show you, I decided to look at this gold, silver, and platinum with Bollinger Bands. And this is another thing that people will use to try to determine if something is oversold. So you can see when we got down below the Bollinger Band lines, this is something that you can use as well. And it's a very simple thing to do. So you just go up here, type in gold, and then come over here to FX, and then just pick Bollinger Band right there. And that's all this is. It's very simple. I hope to show you over and over how to do these charts yourself. But this is on goldprice.org. They have very sophisticated charting capabilities. And if you sign up for TradeView, you can save these settings or save these charts, and that can save you some time. But they're so easy, I just typically generate my own charts. But you can see we fell below the line. You could consider that. There's other times here where this has happened, and this ended up being a fantastic purchase point. You can see it just ran up at that point. So this is another way. I like to show you different ways to look at data. This is one way you can do it. Let's look at silver. So silver right here did the same thing. It fell below the line, and it looks like it's getting a bit of bump. Do I know if it's going to fall below that even further? I don't know. It looks like you know, we had a pretty good down day again, so we'll have to watch to see what happens. But I've showed you these charts before. When silver gets up there and runs up to gold, it typically falls back, and it looks like silver's falling much harder than gold is over this time period. Just like today again, it fell 4 times as much as gold did. And we look at platinum. Platinum actually has run up significantly. This has been an amazing, you know, collapse, but it's run back up right to the center line of the Bollinger Bands in a short amount of time. So I wanted you to see how that worked. We really haven't seen it fall below the line here in a while, at least this year. So this is kind of interesting seeing platinum do this. All right, so I did a report late last night, and I thought I'd do a midday and update and show side by side. So this is what the stock market finished last night, and you can see we were green for S&P, NASDAQ, Dow Jones. The rest of these had already closed out for the day, but there wasn't much going on. Today, we're seeing some similar performance, you know, 0.5% to 1% returns. And you can see Mexico's down 1.66, but you come over to Eurozone, everything's, you know, a little more than, slightly more than positive. And then Asia Pacific is 1% for Australia, China slightly negative, Hong Kong's basically even, and New Zealand and Singapore is positive 1.68. When we look at our ETF miner portfolio, at the end of the day yesterday, gold was down 0.6, platinum was up 0.88, and silver was down 4%. When you look at today, right now, gold is up 1.2, platinum is up 0.5, and silver's up 3.33. Last night, we were down 0.86 for the miners, and yet we're up 2% today. So that's huge, and it looks like silver's 2 2 to 2.5%, and we've got when we look at the explorers, they're up 2.15, juniors 2.3, and large gold miners 1.53. So far, we're up 32.52% for the year for our ETF miner portfolio, which is fantastic. And we can see for the year, gold is up 25.4% and silver's up 33.4% for the year. So that's a great start to the year. I wanted to show the Tradesmith portfolio for, I guess it's basically over the past year. So this is the preferred portfolio that I recommend you guys use, where it's like 75% physicals, 25% miners, and also holding, 70% gold, 10% platinum, and 20% silver. And you can see how we're just crushing the S&P 500 comparatively. And it's actually lower volatility overall. So this is doing fantastic here. And again, it kind of shows you there's some intelligence in the way I'm doing things. Now, I foreshadowed a new investment approach a little while ago, and I haven't had a chance to get this implemented because, there's been some serious things that have happened in my personal life here. So I'm starting to get things back together, and I wanted to dust this thing off and start getting it into play. So I'm probably going to have this within the next week is my goal. But this is an interesting investment approach. It's called, originally I learned about this through something called an all-weather investor. I'll come up with a snazzy name, but I'm going to use something different like trade stops to help guide me how you invest in this. But basically, no matter what the market's doing, you should be able to make money, whether it's going up or down. The way you do that is by playing the long and short part. So like on stocks, you have the SPY, which is playing the long side, or you do the SH for the short side. And then you have currencies. This is like the euro. So you have the euro for long and the EUFX for short. Then you have oil. USO is long, and then DNO is short. And then you have GLD for gold and DGZ for short. But you also have 2x shorts, because occasionally, for whatever reason, I haven't been able to buy certain ones of these, and you can go buy a half position of the 2x short and get effectively the same performance. So what I did is I went to trade stops today, and I looked at the center ones right here, and I lined them up. So we have SPY, which is the long, and it's saying, trade stop says that's green right now. And then SH is short, and you would expect not both of them to be green at the same time. You would expect that it's going to flip-flop. So SPY, if it starts falling a certain percentage, it's going to turn red, and SH will turn green. So that's kind of the game you'll play. And by using 4 different uncorrelated assets, you can do amazingly well with this. So what I'm going to do is play a little bit with the triggers that are available in trade stops, and I'm going to try to figure out what's the best way to determine the signals, because they got to be a little bit snappy to be able to, trigger at the right point. So there's a little bit of work I got to do on this, but just pulling the raw data from trade stops using the volatility quotient, this is currently what it's saying. So right now you can invest in SPY and you can invest in FXE, but the rest of these, gold, both long and short, are red right now, and oil, both long and short, are red. And there's a lot of reasons for this, because it won't put you in green unless there's a significant uptrend. So I found this interesting. Out of the 4 things you'd invest in, there's actually only 2 that are positive, and that's okay. Now, what might happen is if I'm looking at these charts and I say, hey, it looks like we're getting an uptrend, we might invest a half a position and then wait until we get a confirmed uptrend, like if we're looking for a particular breakout, and then you can go ahead and invest the rest of your money. So there's things that I've learned over the years that I think you might actually appreciate this type of investment. And this would work good in your 401k IRA, and this would be a little more of a trading approach rather than an investing approach. But you'd be surprised, some of these things stay long. I mean, like SPY has basically been green for 10 years, right? So that's not going to change that much, but some of these others might. This is going to be for members only, but right now I'm going to let everybody know that this is coming, because there's some things that are going to be unique in my we'll say the members area that I think people will actually kind of appreciate and they can follow, and I'll track the trades and determine what the returns are and how well it's doing. No guarantees on any of this stuff, but I've seen this actually work really well for long periods of time. This kind of market we're in is kind of unique, and so I got to just make sure I get my triggers right. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.